Hey everybody, Bobby Medina here with my dear friend, the great Paul Barron. We are here with our new friend, Bruno Garcia, all the way from Brazil, who's been a student who studied at Eastern Kentucky University. He's done a number of big Broadway shows like Evita, Cabaret, Jesus Christ Superstar, Man of La Mancha, The Sound of Music, Hello Dolly, and many others. He's a respected trumpeter, trumpet teacher. He's affiliated with Pickett, Warburton, and GR as their representative in Brazil. He has a YouTube channel called JTF Aulas, which we'll talk about later and post underneath. He is also the creator of the largest trumpet blog in Brazil called Trumpet Articles. And he is one of the organizers of the Brazil Jazz Trumpet Festival. So welcome, Bruno.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here, Bruno. I'm going to throw out the first question. Can you tell us about your involvement with the Brazilian Trumpet Festival and how long you've been involved in it and exactly what your duties are? Because I suspect that you probably do an awful lot for that festival and wear many different hats, right?
Yeah. The Jazz Trumpet Festival was created in 2013 for four people and some of my friends, and they invited me to work in the very first edition. And in the very first edition, we had Eric Miyashiro. He came from his way from Tokyo to São Paulo, and since then the festival was growing up, and I was getting more involved to the festival. And we had like international artists like Ellen Vizuri, John Faris, Bob Shield, Eden Rapa, James Morrison, Arturo Sandoval, Randy Brecker, and many others, Rex Richardson, man, many guys, many great players over the years. And now for this year, we are doing a virtual conference because of the COVID pandemic. We are not able to do that in person. So we are going to have over 130 artists, including
Wow.
Paul Barrow. Yeah.
Who?
And who? Paul Barrow. So the idea is to invite many great players from all, not all, but many countries in the world. And my duty in the festival is to contact the international arts and do all the video editions and the subtitles. It takes a lot of time to do that.
I can
Like 10, like a 10 minutes masterclass, it takes like maybe an hour, 2 hours to do that. So,
Wow.
and
So
now,
if you do the math, 130 participants and an hour for each, video by the time you've gotten it all in, that's an awful lot of work.
oh
2020,
yeah,
right? It'll come out in 2025.
yeah, we have many Brazilian trumpet players, so we don't need to do that, the translation. And we are going to have some live streams during the festival, but most of the videos are in English, so I have to work on that. I've been working on that since March, I think, or maybe April.
Wow, that's
And right before this interview, I was doing the Michael Sachs masterclass. It's long with a lot of information, so it's
he's
going to be it's going to take a while to finish that.
yeah, he's an amazing player and teacher. We had him on here some months back, but it was really an enlightening and a fun interview that we had with him. And who else was on that? That was
I think at the same time we had Chris Gecker and was that David Washburn at the same time?
yeah, they're another some more phenomenal players. So that's great. So, well, tell us a little bit about the history of the whole festival. Can you share some stories from that?
Yes, in the very first edition, we had about 70 participants, and that was in 2013, and in 2018. 2018 with Arturo Sandoval, Randy Brecker, Ruben Simeo, and other great players. We had over 300 people from many countries of South America, and they were attending the festival. And now the festival have we have like great makers, mouthpiece makers, and trumpet makers coming to Brazil, like Chagall, Warburton, Pickett Brass, and Tyne, Adams, and many others coming to the festival. And we have many, not many, but some nice stories about the festival. Some of them are not so nice. There is one that was in 2019. We had James Morrison, and he came from Australia, and his flight was from, I think, from Sydney to Melbourne, and Melbourne to Chile, and Chile to Brazil. And in Chile, he had like maybe 90 hours layover. And for some reason, he was tired, and he sat on the ground, and a spider bite him.
Oh no.
Bite his leg. Yeah. So when he arrived in São Paulo, he was kind of sick, and he was getting worse when the hours were passing. And in the next day, and during the master class, his leg was like red and big. So we bought some medicine, and we got a doctor, and he was supposed to play a concert that night. And I asked somebody to pick him up at the hotel, and the front desk called him many times, and he didn't answer. So call Sugar, that is his friend, and in the front desk guy, they broke like the door to get in his room, and he was like he passed on the ground. He was passed. He was laying on the ground.
Out, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he passed out maybe 2 or 3 times. But he went to the concert. He did the concert. He played so well. And after that, he went to his hotel, and he was supposed to leave in the day after the concert. But they called me and said, "Oh, he's at the hospital." So I went to the hotel and got all his clothes and everything, and took to the hospital, and he stayed there for like a week.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's serious.
Yeah, that was really serious.
So when
Really
we
serious.
come to Brazil, we have to have some big long boots or some, spider spray or something with us.
Oh, no, actually, that he got that in Chile, not in Brazil.
Ah, okay, just to clarify.
Yeah.
It sounds more like Costa Rica. That's where they have like all the spiders and all of that stuff everywhere.
Yeah, but in the north of Brazil, very close to Amazon forest, we have like big spiders too.
I've been to Iguazu, and there's like giant spiders and all these different kinds of animals and stuff that I've never seen, and Iguazu's is huge waterfalls bordering on Brazil and
Oh
probably,
yeah, Argentina, right?
yeah,
Oh,
and
is the very south of Brazil.
yeah,
It's very similar to Niagara's Fall.
not really. It's like
No?
100 times Niagara Falls. I mean, I've been to
Oh,
Niagara a couple of times, and it's beautiful, but it's not nearly the size of Iguazu is just unbelievable.
got
And the
it.
setting, we had our kids, and there's like butterflies flying down on them, all these different colors, and it was magical. So it was really, really cool. Yeah, so you have had a lot of artists there, and you've probably had a lot of interesting stories, and these things because you're working behind the scenes. I've seen I actually saw a master class that he did in Brazil, so that might be the one where his leg, because I noticed he kind of had a limp or something in that video. He was kind of walking a little slow, and
Oh yeah.
I I didn't think much of it other than, well, maybe something's wrong with his foot or something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens. I mean, it's a lot of work to put a festival together. So what goes into putting a festival together? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, the first thing is to contact the artists and to get them like confirmed. And after that, we have to buy the flight tickets. We have to book the hotels and make sure that we have somebody to pick them up at the airport. Because like in 2017, we had six international artists, and each one arrived at certain time, and I was not able to drive to the airport all the time. So we
Yeah.
had like 3, 4, 5 people doing that. And it's like a friends thing. It's like a party. We call some friends, oh go up there to pick up somebody, and that's very nice. And also beside the Jazz Trumpet Festival, we do the São Paulo Trumpet Academy in January. It's like a summer camp, summer trumpet camp. And we have had some guys like Scott Belk and Morris Northcutt and Jason Dovell and Joseph Van Fleet, Mark DeGore, and some uh, American teachers of American universities. They come to Brazil to teach the students here, and it's very nice. It's kind of smaller compared to the Jazz Trumpet Special, but it's very nice too.
It sounds like you're busy from morning to night and just bouncing all over the place. You got so many different things on your plate. Have you got some more stories you can share us or share with us from the festival, either good
Oh,
or bad? Just some
okay,
fun
yeah.
ones.
I have one that in 2017 it was the fifth year anniversary of the festival. So we brought back Eric Michaud because he was the first one, and Eric is like a very good friend of mine, and he came from Tokyo to Brazil, and he spent like maybe almost 2 days in the airplane to get here,
Right.
and he stayed here for 2 days, then he left because he had a concert in Japan. So he just stayed here for a um, masterclass concert and some barbecue, and so he left. And all the arts they love the way that we treat them here, because we took them to the barbecue steakhouse, and they got some nice drinks and nice, and the Brazilian spirit is very different. Here the participants they want to take pictures with them, they want to hug, they want to shake hands, they want to, to try their English, even if they just speak like 2, 3 words, but they want to talk a little bit, and that was kind of crazy. When when we brought Arthur Sandoval in 2018, that was something different because he's a superstar, big star, and we had everything set for him: hotel, um, flights. We had like a personal driver for him. So when he showed up in the stage for the masterclass, we could see in the audience some students crying just to see him, because some people. I know a story of a guy that he lives in the Amazon state, and he took like maybe 5 hours bus and then 6, 7 hours flight to São Paulo just to see him. And when he saw Arturo, he started to cry. That was like kind of emotion, and many people crying, and that was nice. In 2016, we had John Faddis here. John Faddis, Bob Shield, and Adam Rappa together. And Ferris was supposed to arrive here in Wednesday, but on Wednesday, but his flight was canceled 2 times.
Hmm.
So the flight was canceled twice. But he called me and said, "Oh, I'm in New York City now, but I'm going back to New York, and I just bought a flight with my points. I forgot the name of with my points, and I'll be there in the morning." So he arrived in the morning. He did the masterclass, played the concert without the microphone, and that was
No
amazing.
microphone, that guy.
Yeah, he said, "I don't need a microphone," and actually he doesn't need.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Interesting stories, and it's interesting how people are, how things are received in other countries. Here, I mean, those, of course, there's superstar players here as well, but maybe we see a lot more of them. We understand the language a little bit better, so and we, so it's maybe less, it's more impactful when you go somewhere. I mean, I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
for us to have artists over here from other countries, And I'm just thinking about, like, you're talking about the driving and the organizing. I have some festivals in Europe that I play at, and it's the same thing. When I've been there, it's we have a driver or whoever, and people holding up signs for different artists, and that at the airport, we're all arriving and at different times and that. So I know it's a lot of work to put that on, but it's great that you're promoting the trumpet over in Brazil and that you're part of this world. We're excited for you. I'm excited to see all the participants and to hear what Paul has to say. Everybody, are you a participant in the festival as well?
me?
No.
No, no. I don't have time for that.
You're so busy doing the translations and all that and
Yeah,
organizing and yeah.
I have to
As
put
Bobby said,
everything
there's so
together.
much behind the scenes, and many of us as maybe participants or people that go to festivals like this, we just don't get to see all that you guys do behind the scenes. And I just want to say, on behalf of all of us, thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, actually, I think the Brazil Jazz Trumpet Festival virtual conference this year is going to be the second largest trumpet festival in the world. The first one is, of course, ITG. They are great. And I think what we are doing in Brazil, it's amazing because we are in a kind of like third world country and doing something like that. And I just want to add something that Bob said about the audience and the environment. Uh, I've been at ITG a couple times, and that's amazing. The concerts are amazing, but the reaction of the audience it's kind of different than we have here because probably because you guys speak the same language and you see everybody all the time. So in Brazil, like I can share with you later a video of Eric Machado playing Rocky, and when he plays that phrase, that part, everybody in the audience was like yelling and clapping and doing everything in the middle of the concert. And when in 2018 we had Ruben Simeo, that he's a classical player, he's an amazing soloist,
Sure is, yeah.
and he was doing a recital with piano. And in the end of the Carnival of Venice, in the like almost like in the last 10 bars, he was finished that, and people were clapping and yelling and saying, "Ruben, Ruben, Ruben." That's very different from
They're like rock
uh,
stars.
yeah, yeah.
And our
It's very,
cultures are a lot different. Like I'm from here. My father's American, but my mother is was from Mexico. So we have a different. Just like you were saying, it's emocionante, right? It's just people
yeah,
love to hug, and it's a different kind of thing, and they get into it, which is really fun when you're the person on stage, or it's really fun when you're in the audience too. It's nice to be around that. When we play. I've done shows in South America before, and it's very similar. What I've done shows in say Northern Europe, it's a little different. They still like it. It's still really nice, but it's a little less emotional. For them, it seems like.
Yeah. I think Mexicans are very similar to Brazilians. The way that we talk, the way we live, the way we interact with other people is very, very, very similar.
We have things that I've told, like my children speak some Spanish, but my wife is Swedish, so we all actually speak Swedish. So our kids speak Swedish. I speak okay Swedish, not very good, but it's okay. But if you say things, maybe it's the same. Like I understand some Portuguese just because I speak Spanish and because I've typically gone to Portugal, and so I have an interest in languages. But when we say certain things in Spanish, for instance, if I were to directly translate that to English, it would sound so corny and sappy here the way you would never say it like that. But over there, that's how you express yourself.
Do you speak very well Spanish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fluent, fairly fluent in it. Yeah.
Okay. When we speak Spanish, do you think in English or in Spanish?
I because I don't use it a tremendous amount here, it takes me maybe a few days of speaking it like all day long, being immersed in it. And then I start thinking in Spanish. But part of what happens to me is that I think, sorry, we're getting off trumpet here, but I get it a little confused sometimes when I'm looking for words, because I'm looking for words sometimes from English or from Portuguese sometimes, or Swedish, and I'll be looking around to figure out that word. So sometimes I'm thinking in multiple languages, but mostly in English. English is my first language.
Should we
Got
talk
it.
about the translation, from Canadian to English? I can help out with that.
Study French in school? I thought you got.
You just have to add more U's, like color, O-U-R, and neighbor, O-U-R.
Yeah. When I arrived in Kentucky in 2010, I was actually I learned English in 2 years because I had to do the TOEFL test to getting in the school, and I couldn't understand like English kind of very well. But when I arrived there, because of the accent, I couldn't like answer the phone. It took like 3 4 months to answer the phone. I was so afraid to answer the phone because I couldn't understand what they were saying. And sometimes I had to ask my ex-girlfriend to answer that because her listening was better than mine that time. So, but after that, you get used with the language,
So
and it,
what took you over to Kentucky? Why did you decide to go to school out there?
actually in 2014, I was playing youth symphony orchestra in Brazil, and I met a conductor that he had a connection with Campbellsville University. That's a Campbellsville is it's a very small town in Kentucky, and he put me in contact with the trumpet teacher there, and they had like a lot of Brazilians because I guess they have some connection with some church in Brazil, and uh, so I started to talk with him about going there to study, and after 3 4 years he left to Eastern Kentucky University. So he said, "Oh, I'm here now," and so I went there to go to school. Actually, I was supposed to do my master there, but my father got sick and my money was I spent all of my money, so I had to come back to Brazil. And I started working here, and I never went there again.
Well, that was kind of one of the things I was thinking. I'm not sure about you, Paul, but over here, so many of us are doing multiple things. Like during COVID, okay, we haven't been playing gigs as much. There's been a few socially distanced things outside, this and that. They're starting to come back now, but up until this point, it's been few and far between for most people. So, but generally speaking, we're playing all sorts of things. We might be playing shows, we might be playing backing up certain artists, we might be playing, whatever, corporate events, teaching just like you, doing classes and stuff. Is it pretty much similar? What kinds of gigs do you play? Are you primarily more on the classical side, or?
Actually, my background is a classical player, but when I came back from to Brazil from the United States in 2010, 2010, I started to do some Broadway shows, and I had to learn some stuff. So now I'm more like a all-round player. And in Brazil, we do a lot of weddings ceremony. So we play with the fanfare trumpets, and we play at wedding tuxedo and everything. So in the past, it was like a big thing here. Well, you could play like maybe 3 to 5 weddings in a Saturday night, because we just do the announcement. We don't play the party. Some guys play the party, but we play just the ceremony. Yeah, I know that you guys up there do the kind of like maybe something like the trumpet voluntary stuff with the piccolo trumpet. Now here we do like with the trumpet, the fanfare trumpet, the herald trumpet. We do like an announcement, like a fanfare, and we play like the wedding march. And also I did some sub for the Voice Kids in Brazil. My friend, he played there, and I was subbing for him a few times. And I did some TV shows. We had like a kind of similar to The Voice, but it was kind of a Broadway show, TV show. And we did live in 2019, and last year we did. I just recorded the soundtracks in the studio. So but it's very similar, the work that we do here.
Are you doing any recording from home? Because I know Paul and I have been doing different recording sessions remotely. So do you do some of that as well?
Not too much, not too much. Last year, in the end of the year, I did like 4 months for the TV show, but I went to the recording studio. But like at home, I just do my stuff,
Yeah.
just for fun.
Well, I love the music of Brazil. There's been a lot of, there's so much. I mean, everybody always thinks of samba and bossa nova, which is cool, but the choro music, I've seen some wonderful choro music over there, and everything in between. But my first exposure to a Brazilian trumpet player was many, many years ago. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but I still love his I have his records on vinyl, and I have CDs as well. And I don't know if he's still a thing and people still talk about him over there, but his name was Marcio Montarroyos.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love that guy's music and his sound and his whole vibe, Of course, there's also Claudio Roditi. I'm sure that, I'm not familiar with a tremendous amount of them, but this Marcio made a big impact on me. It was kind of a little more modern, smooth jazz kind of thing before it was called smooth jazz.
Yeah, Márcio was very famous in Brazil like decades ago. I would say now most of the students and the young players they don't know him too much. They don't know him a lot of about him. It's same about Claudio. Actually, I spoke to Claudio. We were supposed to bring him to Brazil in 2017. He was confirmed. We talked over the video many times, and so but he got sick and he couldn't make that. And actually, I did a session for ITG this year, and it was called Claudio Roditi, an overview and perspectives. So and I had like I had Bob Shield, Randy Brecker, Greg Gisbert, and Marv Stan giving some testimonials about him, and that was amazing.
I know that they were all very close with Claudio, so yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing that ITG. Well, listen, I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the time here, so we just wanted to thank you for being here with us, for granting us this interview. It was wonderful to hear about your involvement both behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, and from the very inception of this festival. So we wish you all the best of luck with this. I'm sure it's going to be amazing with all the participants and all the hard work that you guys have done.
We want to encourage everybody in the groups here, everybody watching this, to just really take a little bit of time out and be part of it, and check out the Brazil Jazz Trumpet Festival online. We'll have links to it, and we'll be posting that. And Bruno, when you're in the Seattle area, you got some places to, some people here that want to welcome you with open arms, and have a chance to meet and maybe play some gigs together or have some fun together as well. So we hope we'll see you here, and I hope we'll see you in Brazil one of these days. That would be really fun to go there. It's on my list.
Oh, thanks so much, and let's eat some tacos up there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and drink some Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. I know most of people hate that.
Family, they love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Thank you again for being here, and we'll stay in touch and keep us updated on anything you do, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
You bet.